Hello everybody and welcome into my latest live broadcast. Today it is the 28th of April 2023. It's Friday and you know what that means. Every Friday at 1 o'clock Arizona, well Phoenix time, which currently is Pacific time for this half of the year, there's always a live video. And it could be a review, it could be a build. I've been, done a lot of builds in my life, several thousands, tens of thousands, but they get a little old after a while, and I see what other content creators are building, and I just shake my head at it because I know what the cost of supporting many of those systems would be, and I know how difficult it would be to find customers who would spend the kind of money for a system, and then how upset the customers would be potentially if the system was unreliable or noisy, or the more the customer spends, the less tolerant the customers are to other issues that other customers on cheaper systems probably would excuse. So anyway, I've avoided building some systems for a little bit because I've really needed some time away from that. And with the seriousness of business, I mean, without my business, I don't have an income. So I take it very seriously. The customers don't find it funny to give me their money in exchange for product and service. They expect, what they're paying for or better. So things get pretty serious. And I thought, I do like to have fun. I enjoy taking things less seriously, but it has to be for something that isn't riding on the line with my business. And so finally, after a while, it's taken me to get a little caught up with my backlog here, that I can goof around a little bit and build a system that I would never, ever sell to anybody because it would potentially harm my reputation, because they might think if that's the kind of system Carey sells, why would I want to buy a computer from Carey? And it's something, like I say, that's my whole business resides on being able to stay in business, keeping customers coming back, having customers refer me to other customers. I don't do any advertising because when I have, it's all been a waste of money. So today's system is what we call a hot dog build. That's my own colloquialism. It's basically, the way I see it is, you might see a hot dog and it might look and smell good. It might even taste good. But trust me when I say this, you don't want to know how it's made. You don't want to know what's in there. A hot dog computer build is essentially parts that are bottom of the basement crap parts that aren't known for durability, reliability, performance. There is no redeeming qualities other than it was cheap and it looks pretty. So that's what we're building today. I will tell you, half of this build is sourced from AliExpress. I do not recommend you make any important purchases from AliExpress if you're here in America. It is a gamble. Number two, the other half of the products, the case, the cooler, the power supply, those were sourced from Amazon here in the US, from companies that I have had some concern about in regards to quality, but they all had one thing in common. They were unknown name brands, not known here in America. I don't know if they're known anywhere else. And they were much, much cheaper than what they should have been if they were provided by a name brand manufacturer. So I will let you know if I'm wrong about the case. The case was packed very well, I will say, a very large box. I was concerned at how big the case was. Maybe the case isn't that bad. I just don't know. However, I'm going to go with the assumption that I would never utilize these parts without much more thorough investigation before I would sell that to a customer and put my stamp of approval on it. It would have to undergo a lot of testing, and that testing includes putting it on site somewhere at my expense, and then the customer in return will let me know if there's any problems, and if the system becomes too problematic, I simply take it back. And then, of course, I know not to sell it to other customers. As you can imagine, that costs me money to do this kind of research, but it saves me money in the sense of burning customers or dealing with upset customers that could cost me who knows how much, an infinite amount of money if they take their business elsewhere and I don't get their referrals. So we've got the ALSEYE computer case. All the parts, all the ingredients for the hot dog are listed in the video notes. Please read the video description, folks. There's nothing that bothers me more than people quoting everything I've already said in the video notes. It's almost like somebody says, "Don't touch me," and then they say to you, "Don't touch me. Stop repeating me. Stop repeating me. Stop saying everything. Stop saying everything." That's what it feels like. It's super annoying. So do please check out the video description. It'll have all the links, and it's pretty funny. I put a little humor in there, very little. ALSEYE also makes this ridiculous cooler, which is all about how it looks. I think Gamers Nexus did a review on this. I think it was a Gamers Nexus, and they thought it was horrible, just absolutely horrible. But look how cool it looks, and it was cheap. And of course, you need a big, deep case for this cooler to fit. For the power supply, we've got a company I've never heard of before. Could be good, I don't know. I don't trust them, but it's a fully modular 850 watt, 80 plus gold rated power supply from a company called GAMEMAX. I wouldn't put any expensive parts onto a power supply like this. There's a number of concerns I have with it, but for the hot dog, you know, we throw whatever meat we have laying around into the hot dog. Now for the RAM, we've got the ERYINGRAM and ERYING NVMe drive. That's sourced from AliExpress, rolling the dice. And I've got the motherboard that I tested earlier from AliExpress using an experimental Intel chip model 0000 that likes the blue screen on Windows 11 installs. So yeah, we're gonna have a relatively small motherboard inside of a pretty large case, mainly because of the depth we need for the cooler, but also mainly because it's gonna look bigger than it really is. It's gonna be all swole, when in fact, it's super, super tiny. It's like a big hairy dog, and then you wash it and it's a little tiny dog. It's a hot dog. I did not get my chat room up here. Give me just a minute and let me set up. Oh, where's my chat room? Bear with me just a moment. Just a moment. 214 people are watching live. All right, welcome in everybody. And it looks like I missed a contribution here. Ben Laird with a 5-pound contribution said, "Hello all from Scotland." Hey, welcome in, Ben. Speaking of Scotland, hello to our friend Peter Laycock, or Buster, as we like to call him. Thank you for your contribution earlier before the broadcast, Buster. Elijah 52 Dickens renewed membership and is now a member for 7 months. He says, "I love the channel since I started 6 months ago. Love you, Carey. Happy Friday. It's been a little bit, been missing the live streams. Oh, I've been a little ill, so I've been missing the live streams because of it, but good to be back." Well, we're glad to have you back. And thank you for continuing your membership, Elijah. Okay. Thomas Backenstow says, "Best channel." Hey, best viewers. All right. Those two things go together like hot dog and ketchup. All right, so this is our case. I'll just give it the old 360 here. And if you click on the link in the video description, it'll take you right to the Amazon page. Speaking of cases, I got a weird alert from Amazon today that the Corsair 200R is back in stock for $62, but it's in Amazon in the UK. So it's another $60 to ship it. Well, I'm not gonna spend $120 for a Corsair 200R case. But if you were watching me in the UK today, the 28th of April, 2023, in your country, Amazon.co.uk has the Corsair 200R in stock, shipped locally. You'll have it in days. I'm just trying to help you out, man. I won't make any money on that sale, but it's a good case. Despite people for the last 6 years telling me Corsair doesn't make it anymore, it continues to go for sale, be on sale, as inventory becomes available. I don't know what the inventory shortages are caused by, but it's still made, it's still sold, it's still in their online catalog, so it's pretty rare we see them in stock. And I'll tell you what, if I was in the UK, I'd buy at least 4 of them, but I go through them. Nicholas Bellhouse in the chat says, I've got a GameMax 750 watt semi-modular power supply. It's a new build, it's only a month old, but it's still working fine so far. Hey, that's good to hear, you know. Most of my computers go 8 years, so a month is, you know, about 1/100th of the amount of life I would expect out of it. But it doesn't matter on a hot dog build. I will not sell this computer, just so you know. This computer is being done for entertainment purposes. You should not be buying any of these parts unless you're willing to take the risk. The parts could damage your other parts, or there may be very short lifespan, or there may be no support. Again, I can't speak for GameMax. I don't know anything about them. They might be a good company. I don't know. I'm seeing big holes in the top of the power supply fan that looks like screws could drop in there. The holes should not be that wide for that very reason. That's how it looks in the photo. I haven't unboxed any of this, so we'll have to just wait and see how it goes. Now, I was in a previous live broadcast trying to get Windows 11 installed on that Erying motherboard, and it won't go. So the SSD and the RAM I've got on there, those are going to come out. We're going to replace it so it's all Erying branded, because I want to show that off like it's Louis Vuitton. And then we'll do a clean install of Windows 10, which I imagine will install fine. And then, actually, we'll go ahead and mount everything in the case the way it should be. And then we'll do our install. Normally, I do the install so that you can see everything getting installed, but we're not going to go through that today. This is not meant to be an educational how to build. This is an educational what not to do. Don't buy these parts, don't build this system, don't spend so little money and think you're going to have trouble-free, reliable, secure money savings. It's not smart. It'll cost you more money in the long run, statistically speaking, to do a build like this, more frustration, more downtime. And while it's entirely possible you could build this and never have a problem with it, it's statistically unlikely. But it's your money, it's your gambling. If I wouldn't put my name on it, it's not good enough for me, shouldn't be good enough for you. However, you've been warned. Do what you want. It's your money, it's your time, it's your data. They're your parts. If you want to smoke them, smoke them. I'm hoping to do this so you don't have to. Welcome in all my friends in blue, all my friends in green. Just scrolling through the chat before we get started. How's that close-up camera charging? Is it still charging? I'll just grab it and use it whatever charge it's got. And we'll start with some close-ups here of getting this thing unboxed.
It's still yellow.
Yeah, well, we're going to put Camera Girl to work. That's what I think we're going to do. What do you say? Should we do that? Jim KJ3N says, AliExpress parts for the incredibly cheap crowd. Oh, it's worse than being incredibly cheap. Because when you're done with all your investment in replacing parts at your own cost when they fail or don't work out of the box, you will likely have spent 2 to 3 times more than actually just getting it done right the first time. So while it appears to be cheap, it's actually, in most cases, far more expensive to build a computer like this. And it's cheaper to simply get name brand parts that are warranted through reputable manufacturers, where it's all gonna go together, presuming you pay attention to what you're doing and you don't drop anything or hook anything up incorrectly. It's likely just gonna boot, you're gonna install without blue screens, and it's gonna run for years, problem-free. If you wanna go this direction, this is more of a technical exercise for people who wanna challenge their technical ability. If you feel like you'd like to have a little fun with a technical puzzle, the good news is it'll cost you about 2/3 the price of what a reputable, properly built system will cost. So as long as you're of a technical mindset and you look forward to the problems, this will keep you very happy. Again, I want to reiterate, I don't know much about the case. It may be a quality case, and I don't know much about the power supply. It may be a good power supply, but I also don't know about what kind of support you would get. Not that you need support from a case, but you might need support from a power supply. And if a power supply spikes, it could kill every component regardless. And there's not much power supply manufacturer is going to do to help you on that. They'll send you another power supply, but your fried motherboard CPU, your fried RAM, your fried SSD, your fried video card, those thousands of dollars are on you. That's not on them. So choose wisely and understand and accept the consequences of your choices. Have I emphasized this enough? All right. We ready for the close-up camera?
Yeah.
All right, let's get it hooked up.
Already hooked up.
You're plugged in, turn on,
Already plugged in.
and we can switch over to close-up camera. Come on over.
Give me a second.
Is there a problem?
Okay, that's good.
All right, here we go. All right, so parts. Pretty cool looking cooler, huh? Kind of wonder what it's hiding underneath all of that. Fronting. That's what it's doing. It's fronting. It's not that good of a cooler. Here's our Erying branded RAM, 16 gigs apiece. 3200 speed, fresh from the AliExpress boat. There's our solid state drive, also made by Erying. 1 terabyte, PCIe Gen 4. Oh, you think we're gonna set any speed records with that bad boy? Underneath it, here's our power supply. Look at the size of these gaping holes. So if you drop a screw, let's say you install this power supply with the fan up, and you drop a screw down in there, that's 120 raw volts or more if you're in the UK. That is going to end badly. So be sure if you use a power supply like this, put it in last after you've got your motherboard mounted, or cover it up when you're working on the system, or flip it the other way around so that it's bringing, this is a fan that sucks in air, so you want to bring air in from the bottom of the system. All right, which is how we typically install it. Now you notice everything's in white. That's done for a reason, because it's a hot dog, so it has to look appealing. If we actually showed you what a hot dog was, you would not want to eat it. So here we've got our case. It has what appears to be a door with a little latch on it. I'm sure that won't break in time. No magnets. It actually latches like a 1920s door. Then we've got a tunnel or a cover for a power supply. I don't know what that plastic bit is sticking up there on the bottom of the, I don't know. We've got plenty of room up in the front for a radiator. Massive amount of room for a radiator. On the top of the case, we've got some USBs, headphones, microphone, no Type-C, reset, power LED, hard drive LED. I don't see Type-C. Oh yeah, there's a Type-C there. It looked like a regular USB-A, but I see what they did. And then the far button all the way to the other side. So that's your power and reset. Go to the other side. No, I mean above the top. Right here. That says LED. That's going to control the LED lights, not through software. They're already preset to function in different patterns based on what position the button's in. And I think if you hold the button in, likely it'll turn the lights off. I don't know. But that's the case. It's a lot of case for the money, and it was packed well. And hey, like a hot dog, it looks good. All right. So let me have you stand a little more this way. We always want the camera to point towards this corner, not down the hallway where all of my electronic throw-up is. It's a big mess, and I prefer not to show it on camera. All right, now, to prep everything, I can just start installing stuff, quite frankly. The motherboard's in the other room. The motherboard is this weird laptop, desktop abomination where they're using like DDR4 desktop RAM on a laptop chip that's supposed to use SODIMM. It's a really weird motherboard. No one in their right mind would support this because you'd go out of business in support calls and you'd piss off all your customers. They'd take all their business somewhere else. This is something, you've heard the expression, a face only a mother could love. Anybody who swears by these motherboards, who's like, oh, these are the best deal. Yeah, they're the ones that are holding the ugliest baby you've ever seen and going, this is the most beautiful baby in the world. They're so enamored with their illusion of savings that all the time and effort they're putting into it to make it run, they don't think about it. They don't think it's a big deal. They actually enjoy it. You know, some people enjoy pain. So they're like, oh yeah, that hurts real good. If you're one of those people, well, then I'll let you decide for yourself. But I will say, I'm not. You know the expression, no pain, no gain? My expression is no pain, no pain. Nick Poverman contributes $1 in Super Chat. Thank you, Nick. All right, so what do I want to do? I guess I'm going to open this door and take it off. It looks like it's hinged. It does, it does. Let's see here. Oh, that was easy. Oh, it's heavy. That tempered glass panel, we'll set it over here. And back here, we've got some thumb screws. $10 Super Chat contributed by Thomas Backenstow. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, those are not captive, so they can be easily lost. Oh, and that one's not coming out. Sometimes it's all about the tools. Set those over here, where I'm sure I will forget where I placed them later. Take that off. All right, we got some cable management room in there. What do we have for fans in this thing? We have a rear exhaust fan, looks like, is that 120, 140? I think it's 120 millimeter. And that's it, nothing else. Now this whole thing should light up, I think this lights up in RGB, I think.
It does.
So it wouldn't make any sense for me to add any fans to this, but we have a lot of room for a radiator for a liquid cooler up on top, or right up front there, there's a ton of room for a radiator to go even further down. So you could put them. As far as that goes, the case is equipped nicely. Here on the back, I see two removable trays for 2.5-inch drives. We've got our front port umbilicals. You're gonna see a power connector to light up the RGB. And this is probably, yeah, this is our header for the USB, and the switches is all coming up from here. But where does the RGB come from here? Oh, okay, so this uses a standard ARGB connector, which many manufacturers like Asus and whatnot use. If you do want to control that rear fan, the lighting on it, through your motherboard that supports ARGB. But there, oh, we've got one here too. So maybe you can control this RGB with a proper motherboard. But of course, we're not going to use a proper motherboard. We're using an Erying motherboard. How do you say that?
Earring.
Earring?
Earring.
It's an earring?
Earring.
Eerie. Crying. Just change the E to a C. It's a crying.
Did that.
So if you pronounce crying, then if you just change a C to an E, it'd be. I feel like I'm Sloth from the Goonies. Hey, you guys! All right, let me grab the motherboard. John Paul Bacon has become a supporter on the show. Hey, welcome to the Tech Club, John Paul Bacon. Now, when I was testing this motherboard outside of the case to just see how deeply I buried myself in crap, it's pretty bad. Like, this is one of the worst motherboards I've worked on since the 90s, when I had the unfortunate and unwise experience working with motherboards made by a company called ECS. I still have PTSD that keeps me up at night from the nightmares of ECS-based motherboards. ECS manufactured motherboards that had S3 chipsets and VIA chipsets. It changed me. All right, well, ECS obviously could not maintain a business model of making crap. So I can't imagine this company's going to be around much longer, but you know, companies have time to fix their quality issues. Most don't, though. That's because the ego of the person who owns the company gets in the way of what makes sense, what's best for the company, instead of what's best for the owner. You'd think the owner wants what's best for the company would be best for the owner, but that's what makes the whole situation preposterous. All right, so I'm going to take this little crucial P5 NVMe drive out. Earring. All right, so here's our Erying. Oh, emergency room? That may actually mean something. Elijah Dickens with $20 in Super Chat says, I read about one of the pets who passed away. Well, thanks for bringing that up. Elijah 52, thank you for the contribution, but I'd rather not talk about that. All right, so let's get this cracked open. As you can see, I've never opened it before. I've never dealt with Erying parts before. Hey, there's Buster with a 10-pound contribution, joining us all the way from Bonnie, Scotland. He says, good evening, Carey and Marlena and everyone in the chat. All the best from Scotland.
Hi, Buster.
Cheers. Cheers. Okay, can I open the box? That'd be a good first step. Hey, it looks like an NVMe drive. Now, what cracks me up is if you go to the AliExpress website, it says this is for laptops. So apparently they don't use these in desktops, only in laptops. But it'll be okay because this is a laptop CPU on a desktop motherboard. So that is the dumbest thing. This is for laptops. I wonder if they make a desktop version of this storage drive. All right, that's in. Feeling nauseous working on this. This feels wrong. Everything I'm doing, I know better. It's like I'm playing with matches. And the matches cost $600. Somewhere in here, I have a flat blade screwdriver that I haven't used in a while, and I think it got buried. There it is. So this was just a temporary cooler I placed so we could test the board. I don't even know if I put thermal compound on it, to be honest. Why would I waste 30 cents worth of thermal compound on this? Oh, I did waste 30 cents worth of compound on this. All right, let me clean that up. Mark Gaines contributes 10 pounds. Right on. Thank you so much, Mark, for your continued support. Mark says, also sent you a gift card. Oh, awesome. I'll check that here in a minute. Let me get this cleaned up first. Get this cleared up and out of the way. There's one. And now I'll clean the bottom of that CPU cooler. That's just a stock Intel 1151 cooler because, after all, shouldn't an 11th gen processor use a 7th gen processor's cooler? I told you, this thing's an abomination. It's part laptop, part desktop, part new and part old. I don't even know what you'd call it. The Sloth. I don't know. Sloth might be a good name for it. Or it might just give sloths a bad name. Not quite sure on that yet. Have I emphasized my attitude about this entire process? This is like watching a cooking show on how to make a hot dog. Here you can see how to make risotto. And on this video over here, you can learn how to make beef Wellington. And over here on the Redneck channel, we're making hot dogs out of whatever roadkill we got laying around. Enjoy your cat, rat, dog. Someone's redneck watching this going, why is that funny? All right, so, okay, I'm done with this and I'm done with this. Let me put these away so I don't knock them over and break them. Those will appear in a more suitable build that deserves, you know, normal, respectable parts. And let's see. This cooler could go on. Let's put the RAM in first, because I'm kind of curious if the cooler is going to get in the way of the RAM. So here's our Erying. There's our RAM. Vern Mahoney says, I'm thinking the case is the best part so far. Could be. Could be. But it's not a high bar. Not sure that's anything to brag about. All right. Now we're all branded. Erying motherboard, Erying SSD, ERYINGRAM. Erying. Is he having a stroke? No, he's saying Erying. Oh, wait, are you having a stroke? Look, cooling as you can see. What does that mean? We put English words together that don't make any sense. I think they're referring that you can see the temperature of the CPU on top of the cooler, because that's where everybody wants to look. Take your eyes off the screen, away from the keyboard and mouse, move your entire body in a non-ergonomic way to twist it around to read your temperature instead of, I don't know, looking on the screen. So that is cooling, as you can see. Wow. Now, they put a lot of thought into the name of this cooler. This will be on a test later, so I want you to memorize it. This is the Max M120D-Plus 2. So that's 120D plus 2. So why didn't they just name it 122D? If I add 2 to 120, I get 122. And why do they have a minus sign before the word plus? Make up your mind. That is weird. Yeah, the English translation needs work. But okay, cooling, as you can see, this is the Max series. I don't think it means maximum. I think they just named it Max. Parts. Oh, look at how this is packaged. This is interesting. I'll just set that over there. Yikes. Why does this have... Oh, wow. So they want you to plug that in like it's a liquid cooler. That's dumb. LEDs don't need that much power. Why can't they pull it from the fan header? Oh, look, there's a USB. There's one thing I look for in a cooler. It's that I can have as much unnecessary cabling right smack dab in the middle of the board where it can't be hidden. That's brilliant. Just so fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see, 1 cable. How many coolers does it take to justify 1, 2, 3, 4 cables? So what are these 4 cables? USB. What does USB have? 5 volts of power. So why do we need power? This is a fan connector. How many volts do fan connectors have? 5 and 12 volts, I think. But regardless, there's power going through here. So is that enough power? No. We also want power from the power supply. Well, how much? Well, 5 or 12 volts. But aren't we getting that through the USB in this? Yeah, but we're not smart enough to connect those wires on the circuit board. So we're going to separate everything and compartmentalize it because we know you love cables. When you want cables, you want ALSEYE. Now, here's your ARGB connector so you can control your lighting. You can plug this ARGB connector into that ARGB, into the front one, and you can synchronize all your lighting. So, okay, that cable is justified, and USB is not. There's no good reason for that. Oh, you know what that's probably for? I bet that's for controlling the temperature sensor on the top. So without this plugged in, I bet you your temperature readout on the top doesn't work. And everybody knows when you want to know how your CPU is, you look at it. Look at the top. Look for the number, and then believe whatever it tells you. This was a mistake. This is much worse than I thought. Peel that off. Okay, so how is that going to fit? Wait a minute. What? Okay, I'm going to need a little help here. Class, what direction is the fan moving the air on this side? It's moving it towards me. Class, what direction is the fan moving the air on this side? It's blowing it towards me. So what you're telling me is these two fans are fighting against each other, pushing the air into the middle where it has nowhere to escape, because we all know when you want to feel refreshed and you want to feel cooled down, sit between two fans. Actually, it does sound kind of refreshing. They seriously shipped this with this fan blowing in towards the radiator. Okay, look. The idea of a radiator is for air to move through it. If if you look at the front of any car that's not electric, it has a radiator on it. I guess electric cars probably do too, for the battery cooling and the air conditioning. But a regular ICE, internal combustion engine car, there's a big radiator right in the front. It's not in the back. In fact, if you put a car in reverse and drive it for about a half an hour, it'll likely overheat because there's no air going through the radiator at the front of the car when you're driving it backwards in reverse that long. Little fact. What? I'll bet you this cooler runs better taking one of these fans off. I don't know that they can be reversed. This is positively one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. Look, if this was 1992 and we were all trying to figure out how coolers work, but this is common knowledge now. I can pull a random kid out of an elementary school that could tell me what's wrong with this. That's how basic this knowledge is. So let's use it. It's got a little free sunglasses that come with it. I'll be back. What's in there? So apparently you've got to put a screwdriver all the way through that hole, go all the way down so you can reach that screw to tighten it down. Brilliant. On both sides, you don't get a break. Best purchasing decision ever. Wow. I'm feeling nauseous. I think I need to go lay down. Maybe one fan spins in one direction and the other fan spins in the other direction. I would have never seen that before in my life. And what happens if you mount the wrong fan on the wrong side? How do you know which fan is which? There doesn't seem to be any indication. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let's try something. Let's answer that question right now. I should have some adapters in here somewhere. Wishful thinking right there. Can you imagine if they actually did that? That would actually be, reasonable engineering from a cheap manufacturer from China that can't get their English correct. I'm sure you're probably very optimistic and completely wrong. I'm not sure if you've dealt with many products from China before, but if in fact one fan spins one way and one fan spins the other way, I will be impressed. And I'll also think it's incredibly stupid, but that's beside the point, because you should be able to tell the direction of the fans simply by looking at it. I shouldn't have to plug it in to verify it. And yeah, we don't need a cooler on there. It'll be fine. That's fine. It's good enough. It's a hot dog. It's not like you got to be careful how you cook it. Oh, I probably need power to this, huh? Let's see. Let's get some power. Juice this bad boy up and listen to it cry. Oh, crying. Oh, now I get it. All right. This CPU won't get that hot from what we're doing, so let's just see what's going on here. Okay, that fan is spinning towards me. All right, you see that fan is spinning in a counterclockwise direction. And this fan on this side is facing the other direction. Did they just flip the fan around? That's an interesting idea. Let's see. I wasn't paying attention. This fan on this side is spinning away from me. And this fan is spinning towards me. Interesting. I am impressed and I'm pissed off because what do you do when either fan dies? How exactly do you address that other than by flipping the fan around? And what are the odds you're going to get a fan that matches, especially when you've got the silver stripes on them? The cooler's not going to look the same. But appreciate, who mentioned that in the chat room? Elko even mentions, look at the way the fans are different. Can you close in on this? So look at the direction of these fan blades. So to the viewer's perspective, the cupping is on the right side. And if we turn it around this way, the cupping is kind of hidden. It's behind. We can't see the cupping anymore. So it's almost like they flipped the blade around the other way, the fans. See, this is like the underside of the fan, and this is the front side of the fan. This is what you would normally see. That's relieving my anxiety in regards to the fans blowing air against each other. So that is not an industry standard. They're just making something up here that's, because it's not standard, means you'd have to get replacement fans for everything to match aesthetically. How are they even wired together? Because they're both sharing the same power connector, right? So how do they plug in? Because both fans share this one connector. You're not just going to add another fan, are you? Because where's that fan going to plug? Somewhere underneath all of this plastic, those secrets are hidden. All right, so look, these are all non-standard, really bizarre. If you want to think that's superior, I'll let you have it. The last thing you want as a field service technician is to have to do a 2-minute and 30-second CPU fan replacement, open the customer's computer and find this. What are you going to tell your customer? I don't have those kind of fans. I don't know where to get those kind of fans. Changing this fan out in labor will cost more than buying a whole new cooler. How about I just go out to my vehicle, get a standard cooler like a ALSEYE Mugen 5 or something, slap that on there and we'll call it a day, because that'll be faster than trying to replace this fan. This is a disposable CPU cooler for all of those reasons. For you to have to replace one of these fans, you have to source one, you have to dismantle this plastic housing, and then we have to see if these fans are soldered together and you have to solder them, or if there's actually a connector in there. And if there is a connector, is it a standard connector? And will the replacement fan come with that connector, or will you have to do more soldering? Hot dog build. This is a good way to put yourself out of business if you want to start your own business, sell stuff like this, and then when they have problems and it's your job to fix it, you can kiss the rest of your day goodbye, and any amount of business you were going to make that day, any amount of money, it's gone. And then you got to reassure your customer that you don't sell them crap. I'm sure this is a one-time thing, and when they call you a month later with the next problem, not only are you more pissed off because there's another day you're not making any money, they're even more pissed off because there's another day they're down, and they'll probably never buy another computer from you again. That's how business works. Okay. All right, let's see what we got in here. I bet there's a long tool to screw those screws down. Let's see. What do we have? We've got thermal compound. We've got some standoffs and back plates. Some instructions. Let's see how useful those are. We have a screwdriver handle. Oh, and back, all the way back here in the box, look in the box. Hold on a minute, I can't see. In the box, there's a screwdriver handle. There's a screwdriver. Phillips on one side, flat blade on the other. Hey, you know what? Worth it. That's a keeper. The ALSEYE, oh, yeah. Screwdriver's fantastic. Maybe they need to go into the tool business. Feels good, rubberized handle. A little bit of wobble, but not too bad. Much better than I expected. All right. Cheers. Just set that over there. All right. Where's my parts? Let's see these instructions, this documentation. There's how you put the screwdriver together. Oh, thank goodness they told me that information. Here's how you put thermal compound down. Apparently you have to spell out W or two-letter ends. That's A and that's B. AM4 and AM5, we're not doing any of that. AMD, AM4, AMD, AM4. Hey, instructions don't look too terrible because they didn't use any words. It's all AMD. Intel, 2011, 2011. We need like 1151. Okay, this one. Okay. So, we have to put this little frame on the bottom. And then, it's time for my glasses. If this was a Mugen 5, it would have been done 20 minutes ago. But hey, Mugen 5 doesn't look this cool. Never mind how it works. It doesn't look this cool. All right, so one of these, it says AM5 on the package. This says AM4. We're not using AMD. Why are you giving me all this AMD stuff? AM5? What is this? Back plate, screw, and nut. For what? And this is a mystery bag. I just don't know what that's for. That says it's for AM5. And this says AM4. Oh, but it says Intel here. So this must be the plate. Is that? What? This is for Intel or AMD. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Sounds like oh, I have a delivery today. I have a delivery. I'll tell you what, let's go to the wide angle camera. I'll let you check the packages at the door, and we'll give you a break, and we'll go over to camera one.
We're at 50% anyway.
Perfect. In fact, throw that back on the charger while you walk that way. Thank you. Thank you, camera girl, for the close-up work. I have no idea how I'm going to put this on. None of this makes any sense here. Not to me, not yet. Give it some time. Apparently, this is super easy. Intel. It shows a plate. It shows what it looks like, this plate right here. And it says Intel. It shows standoffs, which look like, well, these other standoffs say AM5, so there's only these other standoffs which have a longer end and a shorter end, so I guess that's for Intel. Like, they only labeled things that were AMD. This says backplate screw kit. Wait a minute, do I use this one, or do I use this one? I mean, this is showing washers. These have little washers. Oh. Weird. This is a level of weird, like the likes of which, this is really overly complicated. So essentially, what they want us to do is assemble the screws into the right orientation, and you're just supposed to know how to do that with 8 different socket possibilities. Okay. Okay, sure. Why not? Where's that gonna go? Let's just look at it this way. Okay, so it's got to go on the inside of these angled brackets. So they have these pieces that are just, they don't have any thread on them at all. And we're going to put that in there. I don't know why. That's supposed to hold. How is that holding it in place? And then we've got these little rubber washers with a little down tab that I guess go on here. Some way, somehow. No. I guess there's a hole cut out in that little rivety screw thing. I'll bring this up to the camera and show you, because this is unlike anything I've ever seen. So you have this little piece right there, this piece. Okay, it's got a little hollow center, and it's got this slot cut out in it. See that? And on this piece here, we need to go into this corner, and we need to be on the bottom side of that, or towards the inner, towards the center, right like that. And then we need to rotate this piece so that the slot is exposed. And then you have this little washer that's going to hold it in place, this little plastic washer, which has this little nub sticking out. And I guess what you're doing is you're pushing that on there so that that little nub lines up in that little slot somehow. What'd you do today? I spent an hour and a half watching a guy put a cooler on. Totally worth it. Now repeat that for the other 3 corners. You with me? Who needs documentation when you have Uncle Carey around? He'll just make stuff up. Wasn't like I put a lot of money into it. Let's just set our money on fire. Who cares? That's the way. Think of how much we'll save by burning it ourselves. Is that all your mail?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't expecting anything, but you never know. I'm sure those gold bars are going to arrive any day now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, just to verify that this fits, I'm going to put the screws in the right holes. I think I might have accidentally slid this one up too far. So how do you take these off now? You don't! Save money when your time is worth nothing. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Dumb. It's the most riveting live build I've ever done. Okay, is that going to fit now? Let's see. That's why you want to find this out now. I think it's going through. Okay. Yeah, I'll leave that right in there, I suppose. Put that right back where it was. Just like a four-fingered glove. Fits perfectly. The little adjustment. Okay. Bryce Hosking joining us on the chat. Says hello. Bob R. said, I thought Carey liked challenges. Well, depends on the challenge. All right. Oh, I need an aspirin after this. What does it say I need now? Some kind of a standoff. What? What? I don't have any pieces that look like this drawing. Didn't this say AMD? No, it didn't say AMD. I guess I have to use... Oh. No, wait, what? I don't understand. How many pieces do I have to assemble here? Am I building a rocket? Okay, you put that piece in that, got it. Then it shows something that looks kind of like this. Oh, that's the thumb screw on top. Okay. Yeah, that drawing makes it real clear. So I guess you take this plate and place it over. Oh, that's great. That's great, isn't it? It's not going to fit. Maybe you got to put this in first. So the little rubber piece goes down. Does it go up? It goes down. So we screw this into the thing that we screwed into the thing so that we can screw the thumb screws on top of the things we screwed into the screws so that we can put the heatsink on and screw it into the plate that we screwed into the standoff that we screwed in to the back plate standoff. Duh. What are you, a baby? Everybody knows. You screw the standoff into the plate, into the other plate, onto the thumb screws so you can mount the cooler onto the plate. This guy's special. Okay, so now I'm left with the thumb screws. So I'm just taking these pieces here. Can you see? It's got a weird little rubber washer on it, or plastic washer, and it sits down over that piece I just put into the back plate. And it covers up the piece, the metal that's sticking up with that little plastic surround, so that when you look at the motherboard, it looks like it's a regular, reputable cooler mount. It's very deceptive. It's not what you think it is. So here's what this will look like close up. See? See how it hides what's going on? You would never know that that just wasn't a simple install. Okay, so with the back plate mounted with the back plate standoffs into the top of the back plate standoffs, then we can put the CPU mounting plate on top of that plate standoffs. Why is it so wiggly? Does it go the other way? Ooh. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. Which way do these screws go? The screws, if we want the fan to be mounted this way, then the holes for the screws need to be vertical. What, do these bumps go up or do the bumps go down? Does it matter? Don't know. It's just loose. Really? Is that how we do things? I can't tell if the bumps are up or down. I just don't know. I don't even know if it matters. What? I'm going to assume the bumps go up. And the reason I'm going to assume that is so that when we tighten the bolts on the cooler, it prevents us from squishing down to these little, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. There's no way to know, if you look closely at this piece, it's got these little bumps, little speed bumps. But if you flip it the other way, then it's got these little dimples. So which end is up? Is this end up or is this end up? It doesn't tell you. It says it's AMD or Intel. It says Intel or AM4 on this side. And this side it says nothing. So do you put it with the words up? But that would mean that the dimples, that's just not right. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I want to put it with the bumps up, but I also want to put it with the words up. But then when you put the cooler on it, you're not going to see the words anyway. But if I flip it upside down, I can't see the words. I don't know what to do. All right, we'll grab our thumb screws. The heck with it. We're just going to tighten it out. I guess it's close enough. Nothing really keeps that from moving left or right. or up or down. It doesn't, it goes into these long, narrow slots, and it doesn't seem to lock in at all into any particular position. So close enough, close enough. What were you expecting? Did you see the price? It's a bargain. All right, and we'll grab the ALSEYE screwdriver and we'll tighten these down. You don't have to make them super tight. This isn't really that critical. Just regular tight, not super tight. Okay. Now, does this go on this way or does this go on this way? If we want our airflow to move in one direction, well, in order to read the readout, we don't have a choice. It has to go on this way. And I will put some thermal compound down, but before I do, I just want to eyeball this to see. Yeah, it's going to make contact all right. And then the screwdriver will have to go all the way down like that. Yeah, okay. So then these parts we don't need and that we don't need. Thermal compound, oh, and a little compound spatula. We're going to be cooking after all. See, they use these bags for things other than drugs. I told you. These were really helpful. Are these Australian? It's like a boomerang. Never mind. Joe Justice with a $5 super chat says, you need better instructions to install a cooler on. Or speak Mandarin or Cantonese. Well, actually, they need a much more detail. If you can flip something the other way around and it matters or it doesn't matter, in either case, it should be acknowledged. It should be clear. John A. contributes $19.99. John says, I love the videos, man. Keep it up, champ. Hey, thank you, John. Your flattery will get you everywhere. I appreciate you supporting the channel. And I hope none of you build what I'm building unless there's something wrong with you. In which case, have fun. Stan Aristov with £4.99 said this should be called the word after the hot dog has been eaten and comes out. Wait, the hot dog's supposed to come back out?
Oh, God.
Gary Tatum with a $20 contribution said, I'm just pitching in on the barbecue. I got the buns ready and waiting for the dogs. By the way, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Erying. Might be onto something, Gary. Thanks, Gary.
What I said.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Erying?
Erying.
Error.
Erying.
Error.
Erying.
E-R-R-O-R-I-N-G.
Erying.
Erroring. Rolls right off the tongue. Like
Right.
just like a hot dog.
Crying.
Larry G says, hello to chat, hello to camera girl. Lance Ripplinger says, airing? Oh, I don't know. So here's the thing, if I put this cooler on in this direction, is the airflow moving this way or is it moving that way? Inquiring minds want to know. So I'm going to give you a little Uncle Carey tip on how you can determine this relatively simply using the logic of a kindergartner, because that's what I'm really best at. I'm going to plug this back in. Probably should have never unplugged it now that I think about it. And we're just resting it up here just because it's temporary. It's in a holding pattern. And then I'm going to get my little power switch out. What did I do with it? Where's my little power switch? Hello, little power switch. Where did you go? Why is this here? And that. Oh. Damn it, Beavis. swear I put my power switch back in this drawer. When I look in this drawer, I have 7 power switches, but I specifically want the one I was using. Where did it go? Oh, it's on the floor. That explains it. All right. Story of my life. Let's see. We're going to need a bigger countertop. Okay, one more time. I'm just going to grab a temporary power supply here. 45 minutes later. We're an hour and 20 and I still haven't got the cooler installed. It's great. Oh, it's great. He's not using his brain. Ugh, he's not using his brain. And this one will go here. Okay, all right. So when I turn this on, I have to give it power again. Such an efficient workflow I have here. Okay, let's see. Plug that in over here. Turn it on. Okay, okay, okay. All right, okay. So how do we know which way the air is moving? Well, you can grab a piece of paper. Paper? Where's the paper? Paper. Just tear. This is a technical tool you're going to need here. I think you know where this is going now. I've given the secret away. Let's turn this on, and let's see if this fan blows the air away. It is blowing the air away, and this fan is drawing the air in. So that is the proper orientation. We want the air to come in from the side where the power connector is. And we want the air to push out on the side where the I/O is, where the USB ports are. And as you can see, that is the proper airflow with the ALSEYE. So they've done all that correctly. We don't want the chip to overheat. Just leaving it on for a few seconds doesn't hurt anything. All right, we're done with that. It's no waste at all. Okay, and I don't hopefully need to use that ever again. All right, so do you guys have any questions for me before I complete the cooler install and then mount this motherboard into this case? We'll put the power supply in and we'll start to install Windows 10 on the brand new RAM and brand new SSD that I just unboxed in front of you. They have no partition and no format. And then I'm not going to worry about cable management until this thing runs. So that might not happen today unless the gods are smiling upon us. Stan Aristoff suggests toilet paper may be more effective after the hot dog. Avery Ramstorff says, Carey, you're having way too much fun with this build. LRCX says, don't be timid, Carey. Share your real opinion. Well, if you really want to know. John A. with another $19.99 contribution says, Carey, you clean up those bags like my kids clean their rooms. Who do you think I learned it from? Thank you for the contribution. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. Now it is time for the thermal application, thermal compound application. So let me clean this. I don't know why I'm bothering, to be honest. It's really not going to make a big difference. Oh, when we clean all that mess off, it might get 1 degree Celsius cooler. Might not. Don't be so negative. That's a very negative thing to say. Earring.
Good job.
Ew. Ring. What is coming off? That's dirtier than when I put this in my ear. I didn't think that was possible. That's because I'm a hothead and I need a lot of cooling. So I have thermal compound in my ears. What is this? It's perfectly clean and yet it's coming up completely black. That is the most bizarre. What is that? 30 minutes later, Q-tip number 75. It's still coming up. That is weird. All right, well, we can spend the rest of the day doing this until nothing else comes up, but then I think I will have worn down whatever this they're calling copper is. I think I'm actually taking the surface material off. Look, nobody's ever going to see this, so just tell them it's clean. Not like the cooler's going to work any better. Hey, don't worry that your engine in your car's a piece of crap. We'll put some really good gas in it. Should we do some more close-up work, or you want me to use the camera arm? She thinks I'm replacing her with the camera arm. You want a break? Because I'll use the camera arm.
Well, the camera's charging.
I know the camera's charging, but that camera on the camera arm is charged, so I could just use the camera arm.
Would you like to try that?
I would like to try it, but I don't want to upset
Then
you.
try it.
She thinks I'm replacing her with the camera arm.
You are.
You have two arms. You are far superior to that.
Except when I'm trying to walk all over the cords.
Yeah, you don't need to. The camera arm does it. See, the camera arm is a machine. It doesn't care about the cords. It won't get in the way. And then we'll just use the HDMI cable that the close-up camera was plugged into. And we'll plug that in here. Look at the behind the scenes. Who else shows you all this stuff? Not only show you how I build a computer, I show you how I film it. Come on, guys. Talk about transparency. This probably needs to be straight, though. All right. Let's see if it worked. See, you don't see me very well because the camera's in my way, but when I switch to that camera, then you'll say, hey, that's kind of cool. Everything's in my way. Out of my way, jerk face. Look at me go. I'm so smart. By the way, this camera arm was made possible by contributions to the channel. And I just want to shout out again Peter Laycock and our friend John Wilson, who have been very, very generous. And this camera arm is about $180, and the camera attached to it is about $800. So for you to get that shot right there is almost $1,000. Camera girl is like, feed her some cauliflower and she's good for the day. That's way cheaper. I don't know, I think she hates cauliflower. She sees it, she eats it all. All right, just put a little bit of that on. You only need to cover the copper area. The chip is really small, and this metal plate is just a heat spreader that comes from the factory because they don't want you to mount your cooler directly on top of the die because you could crack the die in half. So this is there for your own safety. Now, you know what time it is, don't you? It's time for the glove.
Oh, the spatula.
I'm not using a spatula. All right, you know what? Where's the spatula? Let's see. This is so stupid. Are you serious? People do this? Look, this is the dumbest, most difficult. Oh, it's so ginger. I want to be so careful with my thermal compound. I better use a tool for that. Oh dear, it seems that my spatula is spatchtastic. It's the Spatchtastic's plastic spatula. Okay. This looks like a piece that was left over from a model kit. Then they said, hey, we could reuse that. Use every part of the oil, petroleum-based product. Now, this is going into the trash can. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Well, maybe not the dumbest, but it's pretty well up there. Look, your Uncle Carey's going to show you something easy. Pay attention. Nitrile glove, non-sterile, powder-free. Get a box of 100 for like 20 cents. Not really, but I'm just saying they're very inexpensive. It's not a major, I don't care who you are. If you can afford to buy the thermal compound, you can afford to buy the gloves. Let's just throw a little more on there. Since half of it came off on the spatula, that's so stupid. Now I have much more control over spreading this. I didn't even want to stick. This is made of Teflon? Oh, you know what it is? It's the thermal compound. Look at that. It's like old. It's terrible. See how it's kind of dry when I drag my finger? Do you see how it leaves a bald spot? Not on my head, on here. That's a sign of old thermal compound. So let's just use some more. Who cares? You ever tried putting frosting on a cake that hasn't cooled? It's kind of like that. You know what? I can't do this. This isn't, even joking around, it's too far. What is this? T9 plus thermal grease, 13.5 watt. I don't even know what that means. Made in China. Oh, that explains it. All right, let's just waste some more precious resources pointlessly. What I saved on the parts I spent in paper towels. Dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Good enough. I am not going to clean that with 27 more Q-tips. I am so done. This is going in the trash can. That is the worst thermal paste I have ever seen, ever. Thank goodness these inspection gloves can be used multiple times. You can get these free from the trash can of your local proctologist's office.
Oh, God.
You don't have to pay for them. They're right in the back in the dumpster. You take as many as you want. They don't care.
That is not good advice.
How do you know? Have you tried it?
I don't think I will be trying that.
Now look, when I smear this thermal compound around, you see how it doesn't like bunch up and leave a bald spot? It's fluid. It's, what's the word? Viscous. It's not dry like that other stuff was. When it's dry like that, it doesn't smear very well. And you know, you don't have to get it. Some of you have OCD and you're watching me put this on the copper plate and you're like, oh, you went outside the edges of the copper plate. Well, this entire thing is a heat sink. So it doesn't hurt. You could cover, well, I wouldn't cover the whole heat sink, but we can cover the entire area that's going to contact for sure. And look, this glove is still good for a proctology exam. No, you shouldn't do that. You'll totally wreck them. You shouldn't laugh at that. That was terrible.
It was terrible.
I'll just put this on top of here with the rest of the fire. Okay. Ooh, screwdriver. Just a couple of turns. Okay, now I think this close-up camera is a little too close at this point, so we'll go back over to camera 1. Hello. And we'll shut this off and save its battery.
Do you want me to pull the other camera up?
No, not yet. I'm just waiting for this lens to retract here, and in just a minute there it goes. Now that's shut off, and we can just move this out of the way. Get out of my way. Go. We're done. Leave. Okay. All right. It's pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool. All right. I gotta kind of see where the screwdriver aligns with the head of the screw, and we're gonna go back and forth here and try to tighten them equally. Yeah, you know those little bumps, they actually, yeah, those should go up, I'm pretty sure, because it's something that this, as I suspected, it's tightening against. Come on, where's the head of the screw? Let's go. Why is this not? This is not going. Maybe because I tightened this one too far down. Let's lift that up a little bit and try again over here. Come on. How is that possible that it can't find the top of the screw? Okay, we'll lift the side up some more. That side aligns with the screw just fine. There it goes. Maybe that's a feature to keep you from over tightening one side, because you can't really move the screw around to adjust it. Although that side just seems to fit fine. This side, on the other hand, okay, this side's fitting fine. Now, how much do I tighten it? Okay, it just stopped, so I guess I can't really tighten it any further than that. Wow. Wow. It is a millimeter away from the bottom of that fan hitting the top of the ram. It is that close. Ta-da! See? Super easy. I don't know why everybody's making this a big deal. Should totally buy these parts. Sure, why not? Because everybody needs that one, and everybody needs that in their life. Here's our CPU fan header. I'm going to plug this in for the third time onto the motherboard. There we go. See? Just like that. Plug it in right there. And then I'll grab a cable tie. Oh, the cable's all twisted. Let's untwist it first. It'll cable tie a lot easier if it's not twisted up. Cable tie tech. John A., another contribution, this time $49.99. Very generous, John. Thank you. John says, I love the show. You should do a mini ITX build sometime. I just built a 7900X micro ATX, and that was wildly challenging for a sales guy like me. John, I have several mini ITX builds. I've got over 1,500 videos. I've been on YouTube since 2008. So please, if you're interested in those builds, be sure and check out the train build, and we've got the what was the name of that case? The N, letter N, like Nancy. The N case M1 is a really cool mini ITX case. And then, of course, get even smaller than that with the Nooks. But you're very generous, John. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Okay. What was I doing? I was putting a zip tie on. How do I want to do that? Why is the cable this long? How far away do they think I'm plugging into the CPU fan header? Have they ever put a cooler on a CPU before? This is terrible. I think that's about as short as I'm going to be able to get that. And even that is still way too long, but I can't get it any shorter without it bunching up on itself. And I honestly don't want to spend that kind of time. Before you serve me the hot dog, make sure you spend some time plating it correctly. There. Let me cover that up. I don't want to look at it anymore. Okay. Let's get rid of this, and let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of this. I'll be right back. It's still just trying to clean a little space on this countertop. It's like, if this countertop was twice as big, it'd still be too small. Got to do a little tech spreading. All right, so that's good. Okay, we're going to lay the case down. In the motherboard box, we should have the I/O shield. Ah, quality with a Q. KWQ. ALTY. Quality. Oh, good. They ran the wires through the hole. That makes sense. Okay, are these holes going to align? I bet they're not. I bet they're not going to align. He didn't say the magic word. Wow. Wow. Somebody get Steve Jobs on the phone right now. How is this going to align? Okay. Well, there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is these standoffs are in the wrong position. The good news is the case does have holes to support the positions we need. So for that, you need a 5mm socket, because everybody has one of those laying around. I suppose you could use some needle nose pliers or small pliers in a pinch, but you know, you're going to score them up. Let's see here. Take that off of there. It's not really a better view for you, is it? I was trying to show you, but it's just not going to work that way. It's also harder for me to work when the screws are trying to fall out. So I'm going to set it back down like I was, like I initially started with. And yeah, this is the bottom. So that one gets moved up. This one will get moved over here, maybe. Are they aligned? Yeah, they look like they're aligned. Sometimes the hole on the far side, underneath the RAM, is like a ½ inch further towards the bottom of the board than the opposite side. And sometimes they align. Actually, it's about 1 inch away. And this case does allow for holes in either position for those micro ATX boards that have those requirements. So nice touch from the case manufacturer. Okay, don't over tighten those. You'll strip the motherboard tray and then you're done. I mean, there's no way you can really get past that without some special rethreading skills. All right, that hole lines up, that hole lines up, those two and those two, everything lines up. So somewhere we've got a box that I never removed that has the mounting hardware. Did I forget to take the mounting hardware? Oh, it's in a plastic bag in the hard drive cage, tied with a wire tie below, which I cannot get out currently. Without what? Hold on, let me go under here and see if I can. Oh, I see. They strapped it around the hard drive tray. We'll just take the hard drive tray out. There it is. Caught a big one. Hey, they gave us some nylon zip ties and some screws. I don't know which screws we need. Jamie McGregor with £2 contributed in Super Chat, says, here's my late fee. Well, thank you, Jamie. Cheers, Jamie. All right, so which of these screws do I need? I don't know. Is it a thin thread? Is it a coarse thread? Is it a hex head? Huh. They didn't give us many hex heads. They gave us a lot of these little ones. Maybe it's the little one. Let's see. Let's see if it just falls in the hole. It kind of does. I need 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. They only gave me 4. I don't need those at all. It's extras. Here, you know what? I can solve this question right now. Let's just that's not right. Oh, once you get it started, I guess it is right. It just doesn't start doesn't start with confidence, I'll tell you that. Come on and let's get this done. Sometime today, Holzman. Yeah, it's taking the little ones. I usually use these types of screws to hold in DVD drives back in the day. But every once in a while, you run into a case that wants them for motherboard mounting screws. But they gave us plenty, so we're good there. No instructions with this case. Guess you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. Okay, everything's going in. One little bugger right there in the top left corner. There it goes. See that? We have enough room in there for another motherboard. Hey, get two, they're cheap. And I'll just put this back where it was in here. Okay, that can go over there. USB and audio are on the same connector. That's weird. Guess we bring it in down here, or should I bring it in up here? It seems like that's where it wants to be. Okay, so there's those two. What else do I have down here? USB 3 header, I don't care about that. Oh, here's our front port, power switch, reset switch, power LED, hard drive LED. Okay, we'll take all those. I suppose we'll just run them right through the same hole. Let's see. Hard drive LED, bottom left, positive on the outside. And then next to the hard drive LED will be the reset switch, that's power. This one says reset, and we'll plug reset on right next to the hard drive LED on the lower level of pins on the bottom right side of the board that are designated with multiple colors for each pair of wires. What is this? Power LED, positive on the left, goes directly above the hard drive LED on the second row of pins, positive over positive, negative over negative of the hard drive LED below it. I'm going to take the slack, get it out of here. And then what are we left with? Power switch. That goes next to the power LED, connects directly above the reset switch. Switches don't have a positive or negative, even though they are marked with positive and negative. You can ignore those markings. Okay, so there's the front port umbilicals that I have routed really stupidly. Hold on, this shouldn't. Which one is this? Reset switch. Is that the one that's decided to go a different route than everybody else? Come on, stay in a group. There we go. There we go. Okay. this mess. What's this? Oh, this is our Type-C USB. Do we have Type-C on this board? I'll be shocked if we have Type-C on here. We do not have Type-C on here. Fine. But USB-C, USB 3, we can hook that up. We'll just go right back through that same hole. And that goes right on that connector. Like that. So that's an ARGB, that is USB-C, that is ARGB, and this is power. So that hooks everything up but power. And then for the rear case fan, rear case fan, what do we want to do with that? The rear case fan's ARGB can be plugged into the case ARGB. Why one connector is white and one connector is black, I don't understand, but we can just piece those together. And so when we hit the lighting LED up here, I don't know, maybe the fan will match, I don't know. We still have to give the fan power. So where is a fan header? We have a 4-pin fan header down here, but I don't think the fan's going to reach that far. We have a 3-pin fan header up on the top, and that's about it. He said. Let's see how long this fan cable is. Oh, that's not going to make it. It's not going to make it. Oh, wait, maybe. It did make it. Success. To just celebrate. Oh, wait, this USB header for the CPU fan wants to be plugged in somewhere. Everybody wants something. All right, let's not leave anybody out. Do I have another USB header? Oh, I do. Just your luck. There's one left. I don't know. When did I turn into? Jeff Goldblum. Yes. Yeah. Life, it finds a way. Yes. Is that gonna work? Think it's gonna work? All right. What do we have left? Juice. It wants juice, so we'll put that with the rest of the juice. And the ARGB, we'll plug that ARGB into the rest of the ARGB, and maybe it'll all sync. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. If this one would go here, then this one would go here. I like how there's an arrow as though you can put it in the wrong way when there's only 3 pins with one missing. I'd love to see somebody try. All right, so then we're left with 2 SATA power connectors, one for the CPU and one for the front of the case LEDs. So now that means it's power supply time. Oh, screwdriver's magnetized. Nice. All right, just set all that over here. How's your day? I could have made a fine 6-course meal trying to prepare this hot dog in this much time. These wire ties can go over there. All right, let's take a look at this amazing ATX 3.0 ready, whatever that means. That's a feature I'm always looking for in my power supplies. Okay, troubleshooting. That's right out of the gate. We have a big troubleshooting warning up here. And let's see, quick tutorial, troubleshooting, more troubleshooting. Okay. Well, we've got a nice little sack. And a big warning that says, notice. Please only use GameMax's original cables in the package. And only use HP ink in your HP printer. Those are some big holes. Yeah. So let's just say you're working on your system. Let's say you put that power supply in, and you've got the screw at the end of your screwdriver, right? And this case is sitting at the bottom. This power supply is sitting at the bottom of your case with the fan up. And you're in there, and you're trying to screw, and then the screw falls out. You know, uh-oh. Well, whatever you do, do not plug this in. It doesn't even matter if the power's on. With a metal screw, oh, you know, it didn't fall in. Let me do it again. Oh, it's definitely in there. So for all we know, that little tiny screw was short circuiting against the input voltage, which could short circuit, create a fire. Those holes should not be that wide. So if you do drop something in there, stop whatever you're doing, take it out of the case, and make sure you get them all out. The screw did fall out. We'll give it a little shake. Sounds good. But it's another reason to mount it with the fan facing down, which is the way it's supposed to go anyway. This case does have a small filter on the bottom of it to filter the air that will be sucked in. Now, I can already see another problem when we put this power supply in here. Here's the next problem. We don't have a lot of space to hook up our power cables unless we take the hard drive cage out, or we hook our power cables up now and we don't hook up any more in the future without knowing we're going to have to take it back apart. That sucks. It's a downside of, one of several downsides of modular power supplies. So as a computer technician, I hate modular power supplies because when you ask the customer where's the cables, when they call you for an upgrade, what cables? I've intentionally given the modular cables to the customer when they bought the computer from me and said, put these in a place where we can find them in a couple of years. There's nothing you need today, but if we ever need to do upgrades or repairs, I'm going to ask you for this. Okay. 2 years later, they want to add a hard drive. Okay, I need another power cable. Where's those cables I gave you? What cables? So when you bought the computer from me, I handed you a little bag of cables. I said to put these away. I think you're confusing me with somebody else. All right, let me go on Amazon and buy another cable. But you can't just buy any cable. That's why the warning says make sure you're buying GameMax cables for GameMax power supplies. If you buy an EVGA cable, because the connector looks alike, you plug it in, and now you've just fried your customer's system. And guess who's going to pay for that repair and do all that work? So you're not only going to work for free, you're going to pay, and your customer's pissed. Now you've broken their system. Are you an idiot? What am I supposed to do while you're fixing it? I can't work now. Well, there's a triple smack in the face, because you get to work for free, you get to buy the parts out of your own money, and you have a customer who's angry at you and will not be happy until you get that system back. So the sooner you get it back without screwing it up again, the more likely the customer will be to forgive you and move on. But if you rush through it and you make a dumb error, you're right back at square one, and everything's going to take longer and cost you even more, and your customer's going to be angry. Not a fan of modular power supplies. Winston Liu contributes $5.50. Carey, he says, my friend works for Boeing Canada Infotech Department. He do have Infotech paper. Right? I think you told us that yesterday, Winston. Thank you for your contribution, as always. Now, in these cables, in this bag of cables, I'm going to need, this is a gaming PC if you throw a graphics card on it, so put a graphics card on there. But let's just get it fired up for now. Just set that over there. So what do we need? We need a connector for the motherboard and a connector for the motherboard, and that's all we should need for right now. And the rest of these cables we'll put back in here, and then I want you to put this away because there's nothing you need in it today, but in a couple of years, I might ask you for this, okay? Okay. What bag? What are you talking about? You never gave me a bag. All right, so let's get this hooked up. So I think the best way to do this is to hook it up with the power supply removed from the case. That way I can leave the hard drive cage in. And I'm all about taking the path of least resistance here. So let's see, that's the motherboard end. This end goes here and here. And this end, Stan Aristov with £1.99 in Super Chat says, I hope you keep a fire extinguisher next to you. Yeah, I live a little dangerously. A little fire never hurt anybody. All right, that's the only cables I'm going to hook up. That way I won't have as big of a fire. Oh, that hard drive cage is still a little bit in the way there. Did we get screws? Oh, we got this nice little plastic kit that came with our power supply. And in it, everything is empty except for these two holes. This one has two Velcro ties. We have a Go Faster sticker. If you put this on, it'll run 10% faster and burn 10% hotter. Oh, and for power supply screws, they've given us thumb screw. Oh, these are little dividers, I guess. Why would you put thumb screws in a power supply? Is that something you have to remove often? Yeah, we might have to in this case. Well, let's use them. Let's just use what they want us to use. I don't want to set the world on fire. What? Why is this not going? The holes that I'm screwing these into aren't very precise. Let's take a closer look at what's going on here. Oh, I see. The power supply is sitting on an angle. Why is it doing that? It needs to lift up on this side. That's weird. That's going to be on the case manufacturer. That's not on the power supply manufacturer. Dang it. How am I supposed to do this? So I need to lift up. That's not going to work. Bring out the red driver. This will just be another 20 minutes for me to get this screw in. Don't worry, I saved a lot of money. Just put that with the rest of the screws. This is so stupid! Why? Yeah, how you like me now? That's what I thought. there's nothing wrong with having these giant thumb screws sticking out. Why not? Sure, they're free. I mean, they're at no additional cost. Just put this with the rest of the garbage they gave us for free at no additional cost. Okay. Folks, oh. I need some SATA connections, don't I, for the RGB? Hold on, we need more cables. Bring me more cables. Remember that bag I gave you? You mean that one? You have it? Of course, you gave it to me 2 years ago. You said, put this away in case you need it. I remember it very specifically, so I put it somewhere intentional where I could find it. Give me a hug. That'll do. Now put this away. All right. Somewhere in here we can use, oh, you know, it's got to be all the way at the opposite end. Of course it does. Just put that over there. My eye! You're not supposed to get power supply boxes in it. How am I going to do this now? Gosh darn it. I saved a lot of money on this. So I get to do it multiple times. Touché. Let's take this all the way to as far back as we can go, because I never want to have to reach that far in the future. So we'll just get it out of the way now. Ooh, it's lining up better this time. I appreciate your cooperation. This was supposed to go in the bag with the cables. We'll put that there too. Okay. All right, so now I have SATA power, and we'll plug whatever this is into, oh, that's the CPU fan. We'll go into one of these. And the case power, LEDs, plug into, I don't care, another one. Sure, why not? Okay, now we're ready for our first power on self-test. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just that easy. Just 3 hours of your life and most of your sanity, and I still forgot to hook up the 8-pin CPU power cable. So I still have one more cable, because you know, I love as many cables as I can get. I feel like I got my money's worth if I get more cables than are really necessary, because I believe in going over the top for no good reason. I saved a lot of money on this build, though. I promise you, this is a steal. If you don't mind stealing crap. All right, now let me see if I can. Okay, that's the wrong cable. That is a graphics card cable I hooked up. It is not a CPU cable. Power supply is going to come back out again. I love modular power supplies. Have I told you how much I love them? Oh, yes. Sometimes I think of a world of nothing but modular power supplies, and I just sit and smile, and I think, oh, this is so superior to the morons who have regular power supplies that are a lot cheaper and have everything you need without any ability to screw it up. But hey, who cares? It's just time. We're all here forever and we live forever. We're all immortal. Let's try this again. Third time's the charm. Third time is the charm. I don't know about charms. Apparently people like them. No? No? How many are left? Is it at the bottom of the bag? I don't understand. CPU. All right. What'd you do today? I tried to watch a one-legged cat bury a turd on a frozen pond. This guy was frustrated. Okay, done with this. Back in the bag. That was not very good. Even the zip ties are crap. Now put this away somewhere. There's nothing in here we need today or anytime soon, likely. But if we ever have to do a repair or an upgrade, put that somewhere where you can find it. Aha. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh. Okay. Is there a glitch in the matrix, or have I done this twice before? It's very deja vu. Saved a lot of money on this. All right, and I guess I never hooked up the big motherboard power connector either, did I? Of course I didn't. Why would I have done that when there's all these little tiny connectors to focus on? Okay, we need to go right there. So remember 20 minutes ago when I said we're ready for our first power on self-test? And then 20 minutes before that I said we're ready for our first power on self-test? Well, now we're ready for our first power on self-test. Everything is hooked up. Isn't that beautiful? A couple cables never hurt nobody. Just gonna go against cables. Here, have that. You can have that too. Put you in the drawer for later. All right. Are you filming me?
Yes,
That's a privacy violation. I didn't give you my permission.
yes you did. That's neat.
It's neat?
It's hot dog, but it looks cool.
Okay, you're part of the problem. Oh, everything gets to come back out again now. You see there's this little flap here, and underneath of it is our Ethernet connector, and I didn't catch that when I was putting it in. So, did I mention I saved a lot of money on this build? I'm gonna take it all back apart now. This is so stupid! Oh my God. I hopefully can do this without disconnecting any cables. I can't.
Friday the 13th, or is it April Fool's Day?
I wish it were. When you want to build your system 3 times, this is the brand you want to buy. You just can't get enough of building, and you just want to keep doing it the same thing over and over and over again. These are the parts for you. You know, I've been so spoiled using, quality parts that I don't have to check for that anymore, because manufacturers, reputable manufacturers in the United States, well, that sell in the United States, don't do that anymore. That is so 3, 4, 5 years ago. Okay, so now I have to pull the board up and away, lift that piece up, put it back. How you like me now? None of the motherboard standoffs help situate the board. It's just floating there until you put the screws in. So, quality, KWLTY. Thank God I have this electric screwdriver. I have carpal tunnel by now. Repeating the same thing over and over is drive you crazy, is what they say. Before you know it, you'd be talking to yourself. Can you imagine? I'm talking to myself, repeatedly doing the same thing over and over and over again. Saved a lot of money on this build, though. Oh, enjoy your filet mignon for $60. I'm much smarter with my money, which is why I eat nothing but hot dogs. Do you know how many hot dogs I can buy for $60? Never mind the $215,000 worth of heart surgery I need later. I'm saving money. Dummy. So do you remember when I said 3 times before that we're ready for our first power on self-test? But I was wrong that first time, and then I was wrong that second time, and I was a little optimistic on the 3rd time. Well, now, it's not ready to be powered on anymore, because I'm sure if I say it is, I will realize something else isn't plugged in or screwed in or established correctly in the case, or all right. Maybe. You ready? Ready for the electric chair? I need an HDMI cable somewhere on the floor. Somewhere, there's so much trash on the floor. Where did this come from? Wait. That was cool. All right, we're gonna put that in right there. And then a keyboard and a mouse. Okay, keyboard and a mouse. Stan Aristoff with £1.99 said, and as always, I hope you learned something. It's a little optimistic, don't you think, Stan? I'm a hard-headed child. That's what my third grade teacher told me. That's a confidence builder. Okay. Studio lights. Power. Oh, I'm so angry I'm seeing red. Let's switch over to the HDMI input. No signal. Come on, give me a signal. Let's just put this up here. Wait a minute, I screwed that up. That there. This on camera 1, and now I can adjust it here, like so. What happens if I hit the LED button? Again, 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 again. Does it do anything? Is it just a solid color? I don't have any. Oh, hello. Looks like they're all synchronized together. Oh, that looks like one delicious hot dog. Did you notice we don't have a post? Well, don't let that get in the way. I'm enjoying your computer. Very strange. Let's try turning it off and back on again. Off. Wait for the fans to stop. Lance Riblinger says it's rainbow puke. I think he means unicorn puke. Hey, have a little pride. Oh, I heard the fan slow down. Is it booting? Like I heard the fan ramp up and then slow down like it's gonna post. It's just messing with me. Does it not like its own brand of RAM? Let's see what other colors we have to choose from. Oh, we're back around to the beginning? Is that it? Oh no, now it's cycling through all the colors. Now I think we're back around, yeah. And then if I hold the button in, that usually, yeah, that shuts it down if you don't want to be blinded by the light. Well, there you go. There you go. I mean, I saved a lot of money on this build. Oh, the no signal? Oh, don't worry about that. That's just the computer saying it won't boot. I didn't realize this motherboard has 2 HDMI outputs on it. Maybe I use the other one. I think the problem's bigger than that. Let me switch it back off again. And then let's go to, wait a second here, flip it back on. It shouldn't be powering on when I flip the switch on the power supply. That's not good. I suspect it doesn't like its own RAM. Let's try taking a RAM module out. Ooh. Whoopsie. That'll be fine. It'll grow back. I forgot there's a 4-second delay. Are we gonna boot? Are we gonna boot? Jamie McGregor with a £2 super chat says, I think we tried disabling the IGP on Monday. Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we? Oh, yeah. Oh, Well, I thought I left it on auto, didn't I? Yeah, it's possible. I could just reset the BIOS. I'm sure that's really easy to do like this. Somewhere. It's probably a jumper. Yeah, there is a jumper. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Oh, I know another way to clear the BIOS. We'll just pull power out of it, and then we'll pop the CMOS battery out of it. There we go. Make sure that's all drained out. Plug that back on there. Give it power. Turn it back on. Hey, just shut itself off. That's a good sign. That suggests that it's training the RAM. Hey, shut itself off again. Can your computer do that? I saved a lot of money on this build. Windows 11, Windows 10. We're going to need Windows 10 because that's a brand new Windows. That's a brand new SSD. I'm going to put this other RAM module in now. You'll notice I turn it off at the power supply when I'm working on it. I like to limit the amount of electrocutions I have. Kind of funny that way. Well, it boot with both RAM modules in. I just plugged my Windows 10 installation media in. Erying. Do I have any messages? Oh, Arby's emailed me. They said, we miss you. We just bought a boat. Oystein contributes a $100 Amazon gift card. Thank you so much, Oystein, watching us in Norway. Randolph Slavin sent $11.94 in PayPal. He says, keep up the good work. Avery Ramstorff contributes a $5 Amazon gift card. And Nicholas Poverman sent a $50 PayPal payment to help with shipping the veteran computers. We're going to get back to giving away some more of those in the weeks ahead. And there's $30 Amazon gift card from our good friend Mark Gaines joining us from the UK. Thank you guys so much. Such generosity. I appreciate it. I saved a lot of money on this build, though. All right, now, let me just resize this window because it doesn't need to be so big any. Oh, that's the whole thing, Carey. We don't want to do that. What are you doing over there?
I'm enjoying the hell out of that thing.
Let me just. It's not vegan. Just saying. Have you had a vegan hot dog? Enjoy your meat coins.
Bright and cheerful.
Oh, what did I just do? I don't want to see that. That's terrible. Oh, I see. I want to go full screen over here. And let's see. And next, install. It's bright and cheerful?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, compared to my mood right now, crying clown would look bright and cheerful.
Crying hot dog?
Crying hot dog.
I need to get the camera.
Well, there's our 1 terabyte Erying. Let me bring the studio lights back up, eh? All right. All right, and that's just resetting the BIOS back to defaults, so I suspected it likes its RAM. Let's take a look into the chat room. All right, let's overclock it. Yeah, Ben. Is camera girl touching things inappropriately?
Sometimes.
Look, Greenie wants to know if I saved any money on this build. You can save 15% or more. Stan Aristoff with £1.99 said, you saved a lot of money on this build. I did. Can't you see? The savings are right in front of you. Michael Dane says, Carey needs a 1/5 of whiskey, 100 proof. Why do I need a 1/5? I need the whole thing. I don't want just a 1/5 of it. That's like 20%. I want 100% of a 1/5. Wait, what? I feel like I need to wash my hands. They feel dirty. I feel like I got crap on them. Yeah, that seems like a thorough washing. Hey, did you get me those gloves I asked for? Just dumpster dive in the back of the proctologist's office. They're free.
Skip that stuff.
I'm running low. I need you to go do that for me.
You don't pay me enough for that.
Just make sure to wear your N95 mask. You'll be fine.
Right.
Wash the gloves under the sink.
Yeah.
Hang them on a clothes dryer.
Yeah.
And then we can use them again.
Maybe I could put them in the dishwasher.
I'm just thinking of the environment. No, don't put them in a dishwasher. They'll melt. Oh.
That really makes me want to chew bubble gum.
Hoystein says, what coupon code did you use to save the money? They give a different one every time you're at AliExpress. It's the way that works over there. Luke Greenie wants to know if this thing has an auto wash cycle. I don't even know what that means.
It needs bubble gum.
I can't see my screen. We got to give this a special name.
Oh, don't.
What? Why is that funny?
Because.
Can I say I'm a fun guy? Somebody likes your laugh. I don't think it's a laugh. I think she cackles. That's all right. I like it too. Well, I guess I can pick up all the trash while we're waiting. Oh, there's so much garbage. It's just everywhere. Oh, man. Look at this big piece I left on the counter. Ugh. This with the rest of the garbage. Oh, there's so much trash. What a mess. I can't take you anywhere. Uh-oh. That's all right. We didn't need those parts anyway. There's a hole in the bag. Oh, hey, it booted to Windows 10. Okay. So now we can plug the internet into it. Let me just get that dial-up modem hooked up. 56K. Sorry, I'm still picking up trash everywhere. All right, Ethernet cable. Now that I don't have the rear I/O shield blocking it anymore. Done with that. Put that in there. You know, the case isn't bad. I gotta say, of all the pieces we've used here, case, I mean, I saved a lot of money on this case. Are you looking in the chat? Just use this. There you go. Your clock is behind. Your clock is behind.
You gotta see what Lucrenia says.
You could give it the nickname Titanic. I'd call it Titanic 2. Andy W. says, I bought a time machine and I saved a lot of money on it. Did I misspell shiitake? Didn't it have 2 T's or is it just 1 T? Let me see. Oh, it's only 1 T. I misspelled it. Let's start all over again. leave it. We're going to leave it misspelled. Seems appropriate since I saved a lot of money on this system.
Could rename it to Bubblegum.
Bubblegum?
Bubblegum.
Is it bubblicious?
It makes me want to chew bubblegum.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh, there's more garbage. It's everywhere. So much trash. How did a little system like this create so much garbage? All right.
Threw it everywhere.
Well, there shouldn't have been that much to throw. No wonder why my arm is sore. That's my parts throwing arm. I'll just put this in the recycle bin though. They can recycle that and it could be an Amazon box later. And you know what they'll put in the Amazon box? More crap. All right, that's put away. Oh, there's more garbage. Oh my gosh, it just doesn't end. Are you taking pictures of that? Oh my gosh. I kind of feel sorry for the recycling center. It's probably going to jam up their
You
machine.
need to consider ALSEYE as a sponsor.
Yes! I'll look into that. I'm sure they're going to want to pay me in Dogecoin. I think that's all of the garbage. Let's take another walk around and see if there's any other evidence of this crime. Found some more. So much garbage. Well, if you ever need plastic bags from China, I've got a good lead. AliExpress. Michael Dane contributes $5 in Super Chat. He goes, name for the computer. Call it the Geico computer where you can save 15% or more. Yeah, I don't want to do that to Geico. They've never done anything to me, so I wouldn't do that to them. But thank you for the contribution. Carey, why not save even more by buying one of those questionable activation keys from eBay? I'd rather buy my activation key from VIP CDK deals where it's guaranteed. Gary suggests I name the computer Oscar Mayer.
Yeah, totally good.
Marsman wants to know what's the temperature.
It's 24.
It says 24?
24.
You can read that all the way from over there?
Yeah.
Jeez, I can't even see what's in front of me. Who said that?
That's a great first computer for a kid.
Yes, I agree. If you are under the age of 6, this would be a great computer for you. Jim KJ3N said, if memory serves, this is a 35-watt CPU, not much of a challenge to cool. Well, that's good, because that's not much of a cooler, so it's all show, no go. The large cooler is overkill? No, it isn't. The large cooler isn't that big. It's a very pitiful cooler. Watch Gamers Nexus review of this cooler, and then come back and tell me if you think this cooler is overkill. This cooler is all about show. It's not about how it performs. It does not perform as well as any other cooler that would be that size with 2 fans on it. It's not even close. But again, go watch Gamers Nexus. They do a much more in-depth technical review of this cooler. And then come back here and see if you still feel the same way, if that cooler's overkill. All right, let's take a look at what's our updates doing here. Yeah, downloading and installing, it's all good. Okay, if you have any questions for me, this will be the time to answer. We're going to go through these round of updates. We'll reboot. We'll keep doing that until there's no more updates. And I'm done. Like, I am just done for today. This is so stupid. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it entertaining. I hope if you want to entertain yourself and waste your money, that you know exactly what to expect if you choose to buy from these sources and manufacturers. Now, the case itself and the power supply seem okay, honestly. However, I really don't know about the power supply until I have time with it, but nothing concerning right out of the gate. And I would say the same is true with the case. Everything else I would stay far away from unless you like that sort of thing. Just set your expectations accordingly, and that'll ensure your happiness. Selden says, I'd really like to see the SSD speed. The SSD speed is displayed. If you click on the link I provided in the video description, the manufacturer shows it. It's not great. It's better than Gen 3, but it's not, you know, a leader of Gen 4. It's just barely faster than Gen 3, but we'll see how time goes. I'm sort of done with this. I feel like I've just taken a couple of years off my life, and I'd like to stop while I'm ahead. But let's just let it finish the updates and we'll see how I feel. William Dawson says the 80s called. They want their disco ball back. Channel Zero says, I learned years ago, never buy the cheapest crap. Buy the second cheapest crap. Yeah, it's a slight improvement. Jim KJ3N says, I think my next build challenge will be to spend no more than $100 for each component of a build, not counting a GPU. Bob R wants to know, what happens to this PC now? Wait and see if it self-destructs, I suppose. No idea. No idea, Bob. Haven't thought that far ahead. Well, we're installing the Intel display driver. I'm sure that's going to work out just fine. Would I do a giveaway for it? Yeah, I'll give away this and some free COVID. Who would like to enter to win some free infection? Well, it's free. Think of the money you'll save. I wouldn't pay for COVID. You can get it free anywhere you go. All you gotta do is leave the house. Have you been outside? Because you really need to go give me those gloves.
That demands bubble gum.
in the dumpster behind the proctologist's office. Just wash them in the sink first. It's fine. But if you drop them on the ground, throw them out. That's disgusting.
This might be my favorite Friday ever.
Intel display driver still loading, but everything else is. Let's just restart it now before it finishes. Revenge is sweet. Force this thing to reboot when it's in the middle of doing something. I'll show you. John F. says, Carey, do you know of a good diagnostic that can tell you what memory is compatible with a laptop? Many websites can tell you. If you go to kingston.com, crucial.com, and then tell it you want laptop memory, they have a little configurator you can run. Or you can simply run the free application called CPUZ and look under the memory or the SPD tab, the serial presence device tab, and then look at the specifications of the memory that's installed and just match those specs. It's super easy. Or type in the make and model laptop, so HP, whatever model, whatever, space, RAM, and then hit enter, and then the Google results will probably show you as well. There's like 6 different ways you could go about doing it. None of them are difficult. All right, so we're back here. Continue. Skip for now. Not now. Cancel. Skip for now. Right click. Search. Show search. Highlights off. Start. Settings. Update and security. Retry. No, stay on Windows 10. Old Man 55 wants to know, is this as good for emails and YouTube like the HP 6500? Sure, why not? I'm sure it'll run trouble-free and never be a problem and never need a repair or an upgrade. It'll super reliable. But it'll load email and YouTube videos while it's working, sure. How long is that? Think of the money you're going to save, though. Bob R. said, I sent you an Amazon thingy. Oh, let's check the phone, Bob. Bob R. sent you an Amazon gift card for $25. Hey, Bob, thank you so much. SpaceX has gone live with their launch. Oh, they're launching right now? Hey, CareyHolzman's live. 344 people are watching. That's 344 less that are watching SpaceX. The SC, what is it? SES-03B mPower, SpaceX. Oh, it's already launched. It launched 46 minutes ago.
Trust structure is the systems are go, pass through max Q, and the stage are optimized
I like to fast
for
forward to
sea
about
level,
a little over 8 minutes
whereas
and
that
watch the
MVAC
first
engine you
stage
see
land.
on the second stage there of our stage 1 landing burn, and you can see that drone ship coming in quick.
It's landing.
Stage 1 landing like deploy.
Was it 188 landings now? We'll do
What
it like
an awesome view of that first stage recovery. Everyone's very excited here in Hawthorne.
nice. These SpaceX launches almost get boring, you know, except for that big Starship launch. That kind of made me a little sad. Oh, did we reboot? I wasn't paying attention. I didn't recall giving it permission to reboot. Why did it do that? Uh-oh. Wah, wah. Oh, I think I have a new thumbnail. I think that should be the right thumbnail we use right there. I'm sure it's a video driver problem. Pretty sure. Oystein says, but you saved some money. Yes, I did. I bet you can't get a blue screen as cheap as I did. Yeah. The blue screen of death, Andy says, is just part of the RGB. It's not a side effect, it's a feature. Glenn's Music said, did you know the blue screens of death in Windows 11 are green? Ask me how I know. You can actually change the colors. Jamie McGregor says, yes, you need a specific IGP driver on that ES CPU or use an external GPU. Yes, we can add a discrete GPU, a D GPU, if you will, which is what we were doing before. And that's why I called it a gaming build, because if you just slap a GPU in it, you've got a gaming PC. And based on everything I'm hearing about Star Wars, what is it, Jedi Survivor? Oh, that thing is just great, not filled with bugs at all. Hey, it booted itself. Was I a little harsh with the naming, or was that dead on? I'll let you decide. Oh, my PC is eligible for a free upgrade to the free operating system that I didn't activate. Isn't that nice of Microsoft to give me a free upgrade to something that's not even activated? So now I can put Windows 11 on it and not activate that. Keep Windows 10. Decline. You got to tell Microsoft twice. We've removed your recently installed updates to recover your device from a startup failure. That hurts my feelings. They call me a startup failure. Okay, I don't want this driver. This is pending download. There's a way to block that. We can grab this and let this one install. All right, well, this is just wonderfully riveting video here. So I think what I'm gonna do is go back full screen here to camera one. And yeah, we're 3 hours in for today's broadcast. That's an hour too long. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you for all the super chat contributions during today's live stream. Specifically, thanks go to John F., who contributed $5, Michael Dane, who contributed $5, Stan Aristoff with £1.99, Jamie McGregor with £2, Andy W386 with £5, Stan Aristoff again with £1.99, and again at £1.99, and again at £1.99. Thank you, Stan. Winston Liu with $5.50 Canadian, and Jamie McGregor with £2. John A. with $49.99, $19.99, and again $19.99, all from John A. Very generous. Thank you guys so much. Joe Justice with $5, and Stan Aristoff at £4.99. Gary Tatum with $20. Mark Gaines with £10. Peter Laycock with £10. Elijah 52 Dickens, $20. Thomas Backenstow, $10. Nick Poverman, $1. And Ben Laird with £5. We do remember, YouTube takes 30% of all of your Super Chat contributions. If you want more of your money to come to me, to go to the channel, either use Amazon gift cards or PayPal. However, I do appreciate all contributions, even if a third of it's going to YouTube. It means a lot to me because very few viewers actually do that. So to those of you who do, thank you so much. And of course, a super shout out to our frequent and generous contributors like Peter Laycock and John Wilson, as well as others that aren't coming to mind at the moment. Also for the Amazon gift cards that arrived and the PayPal payments, I want to give another shout out and say thanks again to Bob R., as well as Oystein joining us in Norway. Very generous and a very kind supporter. Thank you also to Randolph Slavin, Avery Ramstorff, and to Nicholas Poverman with a $50 PayPal contribution. And thank you again to Mark Gaines, who also contributed a $30 Amazon gift card and has been very generous here as well. And again, without you guys, I couldn't have wasted my money on this. But I did so solely for entertainment purposes. I will not sell this to anybody. This was made for the content. And I don't think we're done with it yet. I think now that it's in a case and I can bring it up on the counter when I'm in the mood, I can address video issues, I can address BIOS settings. I like that I've got everything Erying branded that I can, the solid state drive, the RAM, the motherboard. And I also have the opportunity to perhaps buy a retail branded CPU on an Erying board where I likely can get rid of the blue screens. But then there's not much of a lesson or a warning in that for people. So I do like to keep this as a warning and a reminder, but you could save a lot of money on your build. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to Ryan, contributing $1.10 in Super Chat. Channel Zero, thank you for your $5 Australian contribution. He says, I've changed my mind. Unsubscribe to @CareyHolzman and subscribe to Camera Girl instead. Do you have an OnlyFans page? I don't know, Mel. Who's your camera person? Stan wants me to bring Mitch back with a sledgehammer and make a new video. What a perfect waste of scratching up with a good sledgehammer. Thank you, guys. Richard Collins saying goodnight. Andy Kane, Stan Aristoff, Fast Alpha, William Dawson, Bryce Hosking, Garfield Rupe, LRCX, and Michael Dane, Matthew Burden, Jamie McGregor. Thanks for your help, Jamie. Lance Ripplinger. I don't know where Mats Olav is. Where's our viewer from Sweden? Mats Olav, we're missing you, my friend. That's going to wrap it up for me. You want to say goodbye, camera girl? You want to make an appearance? People don't think you're real. You're just ChatGPT vocally. There you go.
I don't think I'm tall enough for this. Hi, everybody.
Oh, I don't have
I just have to say, this was super fun, and I wish you could see it in person. It's ridiculous and silly, and it makes me want to chew bubble gum.
Yeah, but what about the computer, though?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
This is great, though. Yeah, this is, yeah, I wish you could see this in person. It looks, yeah, it looks super fun. But nice to see everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the camera work.
You're welcome.
And your replacement.
Right.
Hey, how about a hand for the camera arm? Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all again very, very soon. Until next time, bye for now.